In 1889, the Dakota Territory was split in half, north and south. In 1903, a football series began that has become one of the best rivalries in the sport. Tonight, we play for the marker, the Dakota Marker. Number 1 versus number 2. The game of the year in the FCS. The Bison, the Jackrabbits. Welcome to ESPN College Football Prime Time, presented by Dr. Pepper. Tonight in Brookings, South Dakota, it is number 1 and number 2. A hard sellout. A ticket that on the secondary market was going for well over $100. The North Dakota State Bison, the South Dakota State Jackrabbits, separated by just 190 miles. Glad to be with you tonight. These two teams have played games that matter so very much. 12 of the last 14 FCS national champions have been from these two teams. South Dakota State won it in back-to-back years, 22 and 23. Last year, it was North Dakota State who was the last team standing. On an absolutely perfect Saturday night in South Dakota, welcome. We've got a great college football game coming up for you tonight. I'm Richard Cross, happy to be joined now by our analyst, Taylor McHarg. Tori Petrie will join us from the field in just a moment. Coaches for these two teams this week have described this game in some interesting ways. It's been called a Donnybrook, the greatest rivalry in college football. Taylor, the bottom line is this one means a lot.
It matters so much to both of these programs, the fan bases, this region. You think about the best matchups in all of college football, this is right up there. And you mentioned it's a sellout crowd. We've got a phenomenal atmosphere here tonight. The stakes that come with this game, everything's on the line. We should have a good one tonight. Tonight,
the 118th all-time meeting between these two schools. Let's talk about quarterbacks to start things off. For North Dakota State, Cole Payton has had to be really patient. He has waited a long time for this opportunity.
And is a rarity in college football, was on this team a year ago as the backup to Cam Miller and got hurt in this game in the Dakota Marker matchup on October 19th. Waited his turn. Now he's got the keys to this team, runs the ball so well, over 2,000 yards of total offense already in 7 games. They need that element on the ground tonight.
And for South Dakota State, a bit of a surprise. Luke Marble getting the start tonight because of an injury last week to their starter, Chase Mason.
Had a slow start in the first quarter a week ago, but had an opportunity the rest of that game to lead them again in a win over Murray State. Now, this was his opportunity. Had all week of preparation. This is somebody that they're going to lean on this week to try and be the point guard for this offense.
For more on Luke Marble, let's go downstairs and check in with Tori Petrie.
Well, guys, one of these quarterbacks has seen 4 battles for the marker. For Luke Marble, this is his first. He spent his first college season at Northern Illinois University and followed his offensive coordinator, Eric Eidsness, to South Dakota State this year. He told me his familiarity with his offensive coordinator gives him a little bit of a head start preparing for this huge opportunity. One thing he doesn't have familiarity, though, with as a transfer is the magnitude of this matchup. He said that's allowed him to keep his nerves in check this week because he's only ever heard the lore of this game and never played in it. I talked with his teammate, Chase Mason, in pregame warm-ups, and he told me Luke has been slinging it this week, and we all have faith in him.
Tori, those nerves are going to be tested right out of the gate as South Dakota State will get the ball first tonight on an absolutely perfect night for college football in Brookings, South Dakota. 57 degrees, not bad at all. And guess what? The wind always blows in South Dakota. So what's at stake tonight? Well, the North Dakota State Bison, they're riding an 11-game winning streak. Part of that streak, another national championship, their 10th all-time. South Dakota State has won 33 in a row inside Dana J. Dykhouse Stadium, and this place is primed for a big-time college football matchup. Taylor, we were on the field just a little while ago, had to fight our way back up to the booth through the beer line. People are ready to go here in South Dakota.
Incredible atmosphere, ready to go. You saw the tailgates driving in, people waiting outside. They said they opened the doors at 2 o'clock today, lined up well before that, ready to kick this thing off. We should have a good one tonight.
North Dakota State won the toss. They deferred to the second half. They'll get their defense on the field first, and it will give us our first look And Luke Marble making his very first start. Jack Smith is the deepest man to receive the opening kickoff for South Dakota State. He's a redshirt freshman from right here in South Dakota. Sold out, packed to the gills, primarily blue and gold, but you got some green and gold mixed in as well. Opening kickoff, the Dakota Marker is underway. Jackrabbits will go to work from their own 25-yard line to start this one. Thanks so much for joining us on this FCS Saturday night. Luke Marble, 6'4", 210 pounds, a redshirt freshman from Smyrna, Georgia. Went to Campbell High School, went to Northern Illinois, transferred, came along with his offensive coordinator. A little bit of a slow start last week, then he got it going.
Got it going, especially once he found the downfield shot plays to Alex Bullock, 84. They also get Lofton Ogrowski back tonight at receiver. That'll be big for the redshirt freshman Luke Marble.
Pistol formation to start. Julius Lawfridge is the back behind Marble. All three receivers at the bottom of your screen. They give it to Lawfridge, and he'll go forward for a good gain on first down. Picks up right at 5.
And Lawfridge is the bell cow back for this offense. Transferred in from Fordham. He's a guy that was two-time All-Patriot League, has great lateral quickness. This could be somebody on a down-to-down basis they are going to lean on, especially with Brandon Begeman, number 24. He's out tonight, so Lawfridge will get the majority of the touches at running back.
He's got a pair of 100-yard rushing games this season. You saw the big number against Youngstown State, had 176 on the ground. Marble's pass tipped, and then through the hands, looked like of a linebacker that had a chance at an interception. Gibbons was the one that tried to haul it in.
With this RPO into the boundary, you're exactly right. It actually got tipped initially. Looked like Kelton McCaslin that got a hand on it. Very fortunate that that wasn't an interception.
Coaches for both of these teams talked about turnovers, protecting the football this week. In a rivalry that in the last 21 has been decided by an average of 4 points, those plays can be huge. Third down, incomplete. A lot of traffic as they were trying to run a tunnel screen.
And that was blown up immediately by Jalen Duffy. Maybe the best cover corner on this team for the Bison. Recognizes the tunnel screen immediately, triggers to the receiver, and a quick 3 and out for the Bison defense.
When you win the toss and defer, a 3 and out is exactly how you draw it up. Jackson Williams is the return man for the Bison. He stands at his own 30-yard line. The punter is Max Pelham for South Dakota State. Punting this ball into a little bit of a crosswind. And he booms one inside the 20. Fair catch called for and made at the 16-yard line. Max Pelham averaging 49 yards a punt. He drilled that one 54. And so now we get our first look at the North Dakota State Bison offense, led by their quarterback, Cole Payton, 6'3", 233 pounds, a senior out of Omaha, Nebraska, West Side High School. Thrown for 11 touchdowns this season, just 1 interception. In the backfield with him, Marika Pinu. Student section behind the Bison, and they are making noise. On the ground to Pinu on first down, trying to bounce it to the outside. He'll get a couple. Jalen B. Lee there to knock him down.
On secondary, he moved from corner a year ago. Great football IQ, and you see him read and react. Sheds a block. It was almost a big play there from Pinu. Just a 2-yard gain. Good tackle from Jalen Lee.
So 2nd and 8. Payton keeps it, dumps it off out of the backfield. Turns it up across the 25 and diving forward. A flag comes in. Raja Nelson, the receiver, he's got 15 catches on the year. We'll see if this one stands.
He was matched up against Kobe Bretz, the safety. I think you're going to get a holding on the Bison receiver on the outside.
Holding. Offense. Number 88. 10-yard penalty from the start of the foul. Repeat second down.
David Hergert is our referee tonight.
You get Carson Williams, the tight end, matched up right here. See him actually back behind just before that call on the outside. Anytime that defensive back starts to pull away, have to keep those hands inside.
Now this crowd really comes to life. Second and long, Peyton to the air. That's Pinu on the catch. He'll get out to the 20-yard line. Third down and about 6 coming up.
This will be an opportunity for South Dakota State. Good job rallying to the football, a good team defense. Come up with this tackle here. Third and medium. This is a down and distance that they like to bring pressure. Colin McShane, Joe Ullman, linebackers from the middle. Also Chase Van Tol on the outside. We'll see if they bring pressure. Number 11 in the middle. This is the guy they like to blitz.
3-by-1 set. Peyton to the air. That ball is caught for a first down. Bryce Lance, his first catch of the night, his 27th of the season. He is the big play maker for North Dakota State in the passing game.
And Bison fans will know all too well about this guy, Bryce Lance, brother to Trey Lance. Good route on the outside against the best cover corner, Isaiah Johnson, working back to the football towards the sideline in a big third down conversion for the Bison.
So they overcome the holding penalty. Now 1st and 10, and Pinu on the ground. He is met in the hole that time by Jalen B. Lee. That's Lee's second tackle of the game.
Another big tackle from Jalen Lee. Watch out, he on the left side of your screen. Hole in the interior, able to come up in run support. It's something this defense does such a nice job of at the second level. That's why they don't give up a lot of explosive runs. Even if the running back clears the defensive line, guys like Jalen Lee and Kobe Bretz rally and get a stop there for just 2 yards.
Peyton, the left-hander with time, over the middle of the field, diving for it, making the catch. That's Raja Nelson.
How about that throw from Cole Peyton? He had a little bit of pressure right in his face, stands in and delivers the over route over one defender. Great throw. You throw that ball flat, it's going to be an interception to Joel Ullman instead. A little bit of a layered throw, knows he's going to take a hit. A great throw and good catch on the back end from Raja Nelson.
That was 290-pound Logan Green in his face. Completed the pass. DJ Scott into the game as a back. Peyton, though, going to keep it himself. He gets across the 45 down to the 43-yard line for a gain of 4 on first down, brought down by Kobe Claiborne.
And this is the element that makes Cole Peyton so dangerous, that +1 quarterback run game. When we asked his offensive coordinator, Dan Larson, what are the calls that he likes best, he said anything that's designed quarterback run game, counter, draw, power. He's already got 475 yards coming into this game, almost 7 yards a carry on the ground.
DJ Scott again in the game, the Oviedo, Florida native, and it's Scott to the outside. That's another first down and a good opening drive working for North Dakota State.
Opening drive, this offensive line for the Bison are winning against the front for South Dakota State. Good job off to the right side. See Trent Fraley, the center, pull and get out in space for that kick out block. I think early in this game, physicality in the trenches is going the direction of the Bison.
That was a gain of 11. This is the 9th play of the opening possession for North Dakota State. Cole Peyton under center. Stretch play and a run straight ahead once again for DJ Scott. He's a transfer from Kennesaw State. 78 yards on 9 carries and a touchdown last week.
And look at the push again. He's 4 yards downfield before first contact, and that is a run right down the middle of the defense off the A-gap. Right now, the challenge clearly being put on the offensive line for the Bison to start this game, and they've answered the bell.
Almost 6 minutes into this game, 2nd and 4 for the Bison. This time a toss sweep to the left side. That one is handled well. Stopped at the 25 for a gain of a yard.
There's a big opportunity here for South Dakota State. It's already long drive to start this game. It looks like we've got a defender down. Chase Van Tol.
Officials timeout for an injured defensive player.
We'll check on Van Tol. No score between North Dakota State and South Dakota State.
Media timeout.
A 3rd and 3 coming up. We'll be back to South Dakota right after this. News for South Dakota State. Let's check in downstairs with Tori.
Guys, it is loud down here, and this crowd is not letting up. They're ringing cowbells. The band is jumping in the bleachers to create more noise. But North Dakota State was prepared for this. Quarterback Cole Payton told me that they use leaf blowers in practice to prepare for the noise.
It's an interesting twist. Get the leaf blowers going. 11th play of the drive. It started at the 16 for North Dakota State. They've already converted once on 3rd down. Can they do it again? Yes, what a hard run down to the 20-yard line for a fresh set of downs for the Bison.
A physical run. Good job at the point of attack by this Bison front. DJ Scott getting another carry. See, once it gets to that second level, leaning forward, picking up those dirty yards after contact, and another first down. That was the 11th play of this drive for the Bison.
Marika Pinu back into the game. The senior from West Fargo, Cheyenne High School. Pistol formation, at least for now, for North Dakota State. Old Payton gives it to Pinu, bouncing it to the outside on the stretch play, and he fights his way down inside the 10-yard line. Going to be 1st and goal for the Bison.
Sealed off on the right side. Griffin empty. Josh Megan. Good job on the edge as well there from Reese Kessel, the tight end, the guy that they challenged and said they wanted to see him block better on the outside. Marika Pinu, thankful for that. This offensive line, we talked about it before the break. Again, the push that they are getting on a down-to-down basis right now, extremely impressive.
29 red zone touchdowns this year for North Dakota State. They are looking for their 30th. Keep it on the ground, and Pinu fights his way down to the 3. That's a 7-yard gain on 1st and goal.
Like a lateral quickness here as well for Pinu. Shuffled to his left, stutter step, and then contact at the second level. Another gain on the ground, 7 yards that time for this offense. It really, after the completion on 3rd down to Bryce Lance into Rajah Nelson, they've kept it on the ground since they crossed midfield.
Pinu in the game, off the left hip of Cole Payton. Payton's going to keep it himself, trying to fight his way inside. He's stacked up at the 3, then pushes the pile down toward the goal line. They'll blow it dead at the 1. It'll bring up 3rd and goal.
And this is another element of Cole Payton's game that's so valuable. This +1 quarterback run game. As you see the pile lean forward. He's got his offensive lineman Josh Magan behind him. So dynamic and difficult for defenses when you've got a quarterback 6'3", 233 pounds, able to lean forward and be physical at the goal line.
3rd and goal from the 1. Payton keeps it. He's knocked off his feet short of the goal line, bringing up 4th and goal for the Bison. It was Bryce Johnson, the junior from Parker, Colorado, that made the tackle.
Good job as well by Joe Ullman, the linebacker.
Ullman, a guy that they say is incredibly cerebral. He always knows where he's supposed to be, even if he's not the most athletic linebacker they've got. 4 of 6 on 4th down this year. Bison keeping the offense on the field. Less than a yard to go for a touchdown. Payton to the right side, into the end zone, and North Dakota State strikes first in the Dakota Marker.
How about that drive as a tone setter for the Bison? Running the football, physical at the point of attack. They put the emphasis on the offensive line. They lean on this front for South Dakota State. And the first points of the game after a dominating drive in the trenches go the way of the Bison.
a statement drive for North Dakota State on their first possession. 16 plays, 84 yards, 9 minutes off the clock, and that was after the defense forced a 3 and out. Eli Ozick for the extra point try. It is good, and the Bison lead it 7-0. Cole Payton was perfect through the air on that drive, and he scores his 7th rushing touchdown of the season.
ESPN College Football is presented by Ice Cold Dr. Pepper. College football, it's a pepper thing.
2019 College Game Day was right here in Brookings, South Dakota. Boy, what a scene it was 6 years ago. They were in Nashville today. Pretty good scene in front of Vanderbilt and Missouri. Vanderbilt winning that game today in Music City. Richard Cross, Taylor McCard, Tori Petrie with you from Dana J. Dykhouse Stadium in Brookings, South Dakota. Feels like a really important drive. I know it's early in the ball game coming up here for the young quarterback Luke Marble and South Dakota State.
I think at a minimum, South Dakota State needs to stay on the field. After that last drive and the ball control that North Dakota State was able to display, defense is tired. I think obviously you'd love to answer here with points if you're South Dakota State, but at a minimum, and not afford another 3 and out.
First kickoff from Ryan Harrington was a touchback. This one is fielded by Jack Smith, but he'll take a knee, and we'll go to the 25. This morning in Nashville on College Game Day, guys focused on the Dakota Marker game.
I don't think there's any question about it, but I think North Dakota State, they're wide open, score a lot of points. South Dakota State's going to try to shrink the game.
Cole Payton having a monster year.
The Dakota Marker game is a huge ordeal out there.
Dakota State, they dominate teams. They play at a high level consistently. No doubt about that.
Exactly.
North Dakota State has jumped out to a 7-0 lead. Second offensive possession now for the Jackrabbits. Luke Marble in his first career start. Going to keep it. Actually, that's Jack Henry, the backup quarterback who there was going to be a package for in this game tonight. So Henry will come off the field and Marble back in.
Said they were going to try to get Jack Henry involved. He's the top 5 fastest guys on this team. Good play there off the edge, though, from Donovan Woolen, sophomore from Frisco, Texas. And really for 16, Jack Henry fortunate just to get back to the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 10. Creighton Gannon was the man in motion from the top of your screen. It's Lothridge on the carry, and there is not much there. This defensive front for the Bison early on has been impressive.
And tackling well at the second level. Now an opportunity for North Dakota State to pin their ears back and come after the young quarterback. When we talked with offensive coordinator Eric Eidsness, he said, we expect them to try to pressure our quarterback. What is the answer here on 3rd down? An area North Dakota State likes to bring 43 Logan Kopp and 52 Nathaniel Staling, both captains, in the middle.
You see 52 walked up right over the center. Now he drops into coverage. Marble looking to make something happen. Nowhere to go, and down he goes. Sacked by Logan Larson, the defensive end, with his first full sack of the year, a loss of 9 on the play.
Good coverage on the back end, working to his right side. He's trying to get this to the outside to Lofton Ogroski. Not there initially and just rushing forward. North Dakota State decided to back out of a blitz, but still able to get home with 4.
So a pair of 3 and outs by the North Dakota State defense. Jackson Williams, fair catch at the 37. Better starting field position this time for the Bison. They're in front, 7-0. We're back after this. Commanders and Chiefs face off on Monday Night Football, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC, ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the ESPN app. Plus, you've got the Manning Cast over on ESPN2. Coverage kicks off with Monday Night Countdown live from Arrowhead at 6 Eastern. Jack's down 7-0 to the Bison. The Dakota Marker. Cole Payton in the offense back on for the second time tonight. Their first drive, an impressive one. To the air on first down, and this one is caught, and a chance for a big play. That's Bryce Lance. He's down inside the 30. Quick slant and a big run after the catch.
RPO, just a single route to the outside. It's the slant for Bryce Lance. Watch how the safety steps down. Throw in right off of the ear of Kobe Bretz. That is a great job and great throw from Cole Payton. Unfortunate, South Dakota State is that wasn't a touchdown for Bryce Lance.
Gain of 33 on the play. Cole Payton a perfect 5 of 5 for 75 yards to start this game. That opening drive, he was 4 of 4, a drive that went 16 plays and covered 9 minutes. Finished off with a touchdown. Moving up front before the snap here.
False start. Offense, number 70. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
So Cole Payton was recruited out of Westside High School in Omaha. He was expected to come in, red shirt, sit behind Trey Lance for a year, and then he was kind of the heir apparent. But you had the COVID year of 2020. Trey Lance played in one game, decided to get ready for the draft. Good decision, ultimately a first-round pick, number 3 overall. Hand off here. They had a short gain on the first down play, gang tackling there. Instead, you ended up with Cam Miller, who came in, started 54 straight games, part of 21, all of 22, 23, 24. It is finally Cole Payton time, and I thought it was interesting. Tim Polasek, the head coach at North Dakota State, said to us, "I feel blessed that Cole stayed. Thank you, Cole." Guy that's been around this Bison program since the 2021 season. He has been fully in control of the offense so far this year. He's got pressure trying to get away. You see how strong he is. Brought down, though, at the 35-yard line by Kobe Claiborne, his 3rd sack of the year.
The captain at the front of this defense, the only returning starter for the Jackrabbits, and working from that left side. Does a nice job. Not there initially, then finally gets home. We talk about the strength of Cole Payton, almost able to get out of it. And the first real momentum that we've seen so far for the Jackrabbits as you hear this crowd come alive on 3rd and long.
Jacks fans come to their feet. 3rd and 16 after the loss of 3. Payton stands in, throws, and that ball is caught. Bryce Lance once again, a little bit of a back shoulder throw there. Lance coming out of his break for a gain of 26.
Perfect throw here. Isaiah Johnson's in great position. There's no pass interference there. That is a perfect throw from Cole Payton, and a good job from Bryce Lance reacting back to the football. Knows he's going to take a shot from Jalen Lee, and a massive 3rd down conversion. 3rd and a mile, and now a red zone opportunity for the Bison.
Second time they've been inside the 20 tonight. The first time they came away with a touchdown. See the numbers last year in the semifinals. This shot to the end zone, and a flag comes in. Isaiah Johnson in coverage. That's a matchup we're going to see a lot tonight. So far, advantage Lance.
Pass interference. Defense, number 0. The ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic, first down.
And you can feel the frustration from Isaiah Johnson. So far, Bryce Lance 2 for 2 on completions that had targeted that side on Isaiah Johnson in coverage. A little bit handsy on that play. Going back again to Bryce Lance. This is a captain, a guy that you will see play on Sundays, probably a day 2 pick right now. A tremendous talent and causing some problems on the outside right now for the Jackrabbits secondary.
Fullback in the game, that's Truman Weirmeyer. Payton some trouble with the snap. He gets out. He's going to take it into the end zone himself, but a flag comes in.
I think this is going to be against the Jackrabbits. It's like Bryce Johnson may have grabbed the tight end initially when he got into his route.
Holding, defense, number 33. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a touchdown.
So the start to this game for Cole Payton, perfect. 6 of 6, 101 yards through the air. He's got 2 rushing touchdowns.
Good job reacting, recognizing tight end is not there. He's got his center, Trent Fraley, on the edge. Good job off the perimeter there. But you're exactly right, Richard. Almost a perfect start and a nice job rallying after giving up that sack to still come away with a touchdown on this drive.
Ozick for the second time wanted to kick the extra point. It is true. 5 plays, 63 yards. This time it took just 3 minutes. That's 2 offensive possessions, 14 points, and North Dakota State kind of doing whatever they want to do.
A great job by the offensive line to start. And you, going back to what you said about Cole Payton, I thought it was really interesting when we talked to this offensive coordinator, Dan Larson, how emotional his offensive coordinator got. Said, and this is a direct quote, he said, "I don't flinch telling him I love him before every game." You could see how much it means to this team and to the staff that Cole Payton, in this day and age in college football, that he waited his turn, that he didn't move around. Now he's got his opportunity and making the most of it.
One of the things that South Dakota State wanted to do defensively was try to create some confusion pre-snap for Cole Payton. Payton seems to be pretty locked in so far and comfortable in what he's trying to do. You're just having fun with the telly.
Just trying to show you what I was getting you for Halloween.
But you're going to put a smiley face on there and say, "Hi, Mom." 14-0, this kick away, and this time it is returnable for Jack Smith. And Smith dropped at the 15-yard line, so 10 yards short of where he would be if there had been a fair catch. 10 seconds remaining in this opening quarter, and it has been all North Dakota State. South Dakota State playing without its starting quarterback, Chase Mason, the senior from Hurley, South Dakota. Talked to him a little bit before the game tonight on the field, and you can see he was disappointed. Understands the big picture, though. He's got to be healthy for this South Dakota State team to try and make a deep run. Both teams undefeated coming in. Marble taking a shot down the field and overthrows everybody. Once again, pressure in his face.
Hit that corner route to Alex Bullock. Top target for the Jackrabbits on offense, but really nowhere to go with the football. Double covered on that outside and takes a hit again. Defensive line, North Dakota State doing a nice job affecting Luke Marble.
Julius Lawfridge in the backfield with Luke Marble. Marble, the redshirt freshman, making his first ever start, came in last week. Movement up front. Flag does come in. Looks like that's going to be offsides on South Dakota State, or excuse me, on North Dakota State, with 1 second left in the quarter.
Offside, defense, number 95, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Zach Vanderpool. This team, North Dakota State, without Jackson Dutenheffer, captain up front, the interior defensive line, the staff told us, Grant Olson, defensive coordinator, said that unit, Keenan Wilson and Logan Larson specifically, they're going to have to empty the tank tonight, play all out with their captain out in the middle.
Final play of the first quarter. Hard run straight ahead out to the 23-yard line. Lawfridge on the carry, and that will take us to the end of the opening quarter.
Of the first quarter.
A quarter that was dominated by North Dakota State. A couple of long scoring drives, a pair of touchdown runs for Cole Payton.
Welcome back to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Dr. Pepper. Coach, this one's opened up just about exactly as you could hope for your team. What do you like about what your guys are putting together?
I love the openers coming out of their student section. That's tough down there. This is a great environment, and I thought we showed some great toughness, and we own the operation and some unbelievable playmaking.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Tori. Tim Polasek, the head coach at North Dakota State in his second season in Fargo. Won a national championship in year one, trying to make it 2 in a row. And 11 of the last 15
and does not strike me as a coach that is easy to please, is not going to give out free compliments, but about a perfect start, as perfect a start as you could ask for South Dakota State. They need a first down here. In that
After
first
quick
quarter,
replay review, the ball will be placed at the 20-yard line. Third down.
We'll come back to a 3rd and 5, but for the Jackrabbits, they need a first down. In that first quarter, time of possession, North Dakota State 12 minutes to 3. Defense for the Jackrabbits asking their offense, please stay on the field. Just a little breather on the side here.
Jackrabbits trying to avoid a 3rd straight 3 and out to start the game. And after that review, they moved it back to the 20. So instead of 3rd and about a yard and a half,
South Dakota State, their first.
It's going to be 3rd and 5. And even coming out of the quarter break, South Dakota State taking a timeout. Looked to me like head coach Dan Jackson was none too pleased with the movement of the ball.
And Richard, I think part of this is Dan Jackson, I'm not sure if he knew, if the crew had communicated with him that it was moving back, because it's a different play call. At 3rd and 2 versus a 3rd and 5, looks like the conversation that he's having with our head referee, David Hergert. But it absolutely does. In those short yardage situations, you got a very different play design and play call. Remember, a short yardage guy, Jack Henry, it's a guy that we'll see some in short yardage, but now again, Luke Marble back in at quarterback.
Replay officials are here from the Missouri Valley Conference. There is no collaborative replay with the conference office. You do not have a monitor on the field where the referee is involved with that. It is entirely up to the replay team that is in the press box. 14-0 our score. North Dakota State in front. 3rd and 5 here for the Jackrabbits. Long throw out to the sideline, and it is dropped. Intended that time for Lawford's out of the backfield. He was going to have to try and make a man miss and have something happen after the catch, but he couldn't haul it in.
Still not sure if this would have been a first down. A couple Bison defenders that were right next to Julius Lawford. Another quick possession going back the direction of North Dakota State.
3rd punt of the night. This one with the wind and is back, and it's fielded at the 20. Trying to make something happen into the open field. Pretty decent return there by Jackson Williams. 57 on the punt, 13 on the return. So Cole Payton onto the field for the 3rd time tonight, and so far so good for number 9.
Got a perfect start for the senior from Omaha, Nebraska. A couple touchdowns on the ground, and his top target, Bryce Lance, gotten it to him early and often. RPO into the boundary, had that throw on the last possession on the back shoulder fade. On the other side for South Dakota State, they are 2nd in the country with 18 takeaways coming into this game. That defensive unit, to try and create some momentum, they need to create a takeaway.
1st and 10, toss sweep, left side. Pretty decent running room on the first down play. Colin McShane, the first one there.
Left side of the offensive line, Bo Johnson, Nate Tostad as well. Sealing off that edge. Feels like right now North Dakota State can get 4 or 5 yards a pop on the ground on any down that they want it.
5 carries for 28 yards so far for Barika Pinu. Payton throws complete. He's now 7 of 7 to start this ball game. 154 yards of offense for North Dakota State in the first quarter.
Yeah, how about this catch from Carson Williams, tight end that's back healthy on the shallow cross. I'm not sure Cole Payton recognized that Isaiah Johnson was right there into the boundary, but a first down catch from Carson Williams.
Williams back this week after missing last week's game, a win against Indiana State. On the ground again, and Pinu out to midfield. And this running game is biting off chunks.
Wash everything down, and that pressure, you see Joe Ullman on the blitz. He's off a gap. That needs to be one gap over. Your defensive lineman and your linebacker that are occupying the same gap. That makes it so easy in the run game for any running back, but especially one as good as Barika Pinu.
Tim Polasek talked about his center Trent Fraley and his right guard Griffin Impey as being the leaders on that offensive line. And a sophomore, Bo Johnson, over at left tackle that they say is coming on strong. One-on-one to the outside. It's another catch for Bryce Lance. The senior from Marshall, Minnesota, has had a huge game. This one good for 27.
And both times they've walked up Isaiah Johnson into press man coverage, they've thrown it to Bryce Lance. I think they've recognized in one-on-one situations, they like that matchup. He wins on the outside and a good throw from Cole Payton.
Bryce Lance was on the preseason watch list for the Walter Payton Award. That is the FCS version of the Heisman Trophy. Payton 8 of 8 to start the game throwing the football. Looking to do it again. Takes a shot, and he's got a man, and that is caught on the far sideline. Jackson Williams hauls it in.
Nice strong throw on the move to the throwing side for Cole Payton. Looked like Jackson Williams able to get a foot down inbounds and another first down. Now 9 for 9 to start this game for Cole Payton.
Inside the 10 for the third time tonight. 4 different receivers have caught passes out of 9 completions for Cole Payton. On the 9, first and goal. Payton keeps it himself, gets to the outside, inside the 5-yard line. Run out of bounds around the 2.
We might see Cole Payton try to get off his feet and dive for that from about the 3. It's a good pull read off of that linebacker. Kind of did leave his feet. Good play again. Now into the tight red zone in an area they like to keep it in the hands of Cole Payton. Once it gets inside the 5-yard line in that +1 quarterback run game.
He's already got 2 rushing touchdowns tonight. 8 on the season. Fullback is in the game. Weirmeyer. Stretch handoff to the left side into the end zone. That's another touchdown. This time it's Barika Pinu plowing in for his 11th rushing touchdown of the season.
It's too easy right now for this offensive line. The Bison are getting whatever they want up front. Great push again on that left side. We talked about Bo Johnson. That left tackle spot, they wash everything down, and an easy touchdown for Barika Pinu.
Eli Ozick for the 3rd time on to try the extra point. Up and through, and it's now 21-0. A 7-play, 68-yard touchdown drive capped off by Pinu. 21-zip Bison. A shell-shocked Dykhouse Stadium, except for the folks in green and gold. 21-0, North Dakota State in front. They have scored touchdowns on their first 3 offensive possessions. Meanwhile, South Dakota State has gone 3 and out 3 times for a total of -3 yards in the first almost 20 minutes of this game. So South Dakota State looking for something to get a little bit of juice back into the crowd and make their sideline feel a little bit better. Ryan Harrington will kick this off, the freshman from Ankeny, Iowa. Jack Smith standing at the goal line. This kick is into the wind, so a shorter kick. Smith's going to catch it on a run coming forward, and Jack Smith out across the 25-yard line to the 27. Prior to last season, South Dakota State had won 5 in a row in this series. Different story last year. In the regular season meeting, it was number 1 versus number 2. Raja Nelson there with his 2nd touchdown catch helped snap the Jackrabbits' 39-game win streak against FCS opponents. And then again in the semifinals of the FCS, Bryce Lance with the big catch. North Dakota State won that game 28-21. So they got the Dakota Marker back, and then perhaps more importantly, punched their ticket to the national championship game, which they went on to win. That's Ogroski, shoestring tackle. A positive play for South Dakota State. It could have been a huge play, a gain of 12.
Great tackle from Logan Kopp. Watch number 43 track this down. This is almost a touchdown. If Kopp doesn't make that play, I'm not sure that often Ogroski doesn't score there, because you can hear the crowd come alive, almost with a little bit of a sarcastic cheer here at the first down of the night for the Jackrabbits.
Oh, if that was sarcasm or relief.
Maybe a little bit of both.
12-yard gain, first down of the night for the Jacks. James Basinger is in as the back. Ogroski, the motion man again. Basinger put it on the ground. He had it bounce right back up to him. Donovan Woolen there to clean up and make the tackle.
We got a couple freshman running backs that are going to get touches tonight. James Basinger, one of them. Josiah Johnson, the other. Basinger fortunate that ball bounced right up to him. Brendan Begeman, 24, he's still out, so it'll be a combination of Julius Lawfridge and those two freshmen, Basinger and Johnson, getting the majority of the touches tonight.
2nd and 11. After the fumble that bounced right back up to Basinger. Luke Marble from the gun, blitz in his face, and he nearly threw an interception there. Bounced and hit the turf, trying to get it to the tight end, Brayton Gannon. Givens has had a couple of opportunities tonight.
Working on that left side. Almost felt like, to me, Luke Marble telegraphing where he's going with the football. Brayton Gannon never really open at all. And now that first down fumble from Basinger, putting you behind the sticks. 2nd down completion, now staring another 3rd and long. We'll see if there's a pressure here from the middle between Logan Kopp and Nathan Staling in the middle.
After the injury last week to Chase Mason, Marble came in, threw for 189 yards and a couple of touchdowns against Murray State. This is not Murray State. He does get a completion here out to the 43-yard line, well short of the first down. Jack Smith with the catch, Jaquise Alexander, a junior from Ruskin, Florida, all the way from home.
And now don't be surprised here, Richard, if this is just a hard count. I'm not sure if you're going to go for it here on your own side of the field.
From the 43, it's 4th down and 6. Maybe a long 5. Play clock inside 10. They move Gannon, the tight end, to the right side. They will quick kick it. Boy, that works out well inside the 10, and that's where it's going to be down. Ogroski gets down. Luke Marble, extra tool in his tool belt there with the quick kick punt to pin the Bison deep.
The College Football Playoff begins December 19th and concludes with the National Championship January 19th on ESPN.
And let's take a look at this week's College Football Playoff rankings, brought to you by Prudential. Ohio State had the weekend off. Indiana rolled today against UCLA. What's been a great story in college football for the last few weeks. Texas A&M and LSU playing right now, with A&M leading it in Baton Rouge. Alabama came from behind and won. Wisconsin trying to deal with the Oregon Ducks. You had Tech winning, Ole Miss winning a big one today at Oklahoma. Miami in front right now, and Vanderbilt. The Commodores keep on rolling.
The Diego Pavia experience lives on.
In the semifinal game last year between these two teams, Bryce Lance had 6 catches for 125 yards. Not going to have an opportunity there as Cole Payton goes down. This defensive line coming up with a 5-yard stop there. Dawson Ripperdaw with the sack.
Also see Aaron Wolfscale Holston, 55, an entire unit able to collapse the pocket. This defensive staff, Ryan Bergstrom, defensive coordinator, told us we feel really good about our defensive line versus this offensive line of the Bison. Couple sacks already in this game, now behind the sticks for North Dakota State.
Mentioned that about Lance. Tonight he's got 4 catches for 93 yards on the ground here. Not much. And so far, a better sequence here for the Jackrabbit defense.
Last time there was a 3rd and long, they threw that back shoulder fade to Bryce Lance. You've seen the answer for the Jackrabbits defense to start to bracket, give a little bit of help to Isaiah Johnson on that outside. Zero, Isaiah Johnson is the corner that they are going to travel to Bryce Lance's side anytime he's in the game. Right now, he's not. It's a combination of Jaden Oliver and Miles Taylor.
Bryce Lance and Chris Harris, part of the group of receivers that come into the game here on 3rd and long.
And there's Lance at the bottom.
Cole Payton surveying the field. Now he takes off, and he's dropped from behind. Colin McShane. His defensive coordinator, Brian Bergstrom, said he's the best football player on this team.
How about this play? Second time on this drive, they collapsed the pocket. Good job by Colin McShane. Able to rally back around in the best series so far on either side of the ball for South Dakota State.
North Dakota State went 16 plays, 84 yards and a score. 5 for 63 and a score. 7 for 68 and a touchdown. This time they go 3 and out. And now the Jackrabbits will have by far their best field position of the night, starting on the plus side of the field at the 44. Can the boys in blue get something going? We'll see when we come back. 6:22 to go in the half.
It's really tough, and that one hurt a lot. That one really hurt, so just not going to let it happen again.
Quentin Christensen says not going to let it happen again. It had been 5 straight South Dakota State wins in the series before last year the Bison took back the Dakota Marker and then won again in the semifinals. A 4-point win in the regular season, a 7-point win in the postseason. Quentin Christensen, a captain on the offensive line. He is a loud guy, an in-your-face guy, but there you heard him struggling a little bit to describe the feeling of losing those 2 games a year ago. Looking to throw it down the field. It's a wide receiver pass, and it is. There's a flag that comes in. Is it caught? Yes. Isaiah Garcia Castaneda made the throw, and Lofton Ogroski was able to haul it in for a gain of 26.
Fights through the PI from Darius Givens. Unbelievable play.
Pass interference, defense, number 29. That penalty is declined. First down, South Dakota State.
Throw was a little bit underthrown from Isaiah Garcia Castaneda. How about that focus? Lofton Ogroski to come down with that play.
That was just the 14th play of the game. First time in the red zone tonight. And just the second first down of the night for South Dakota State. Now a shot toward the end zone, and Ogroski hauls it in. 4th touchdown catch of the year for Lofton Ogroski, and my, oh my, did the Jackrabbits need that.
What a catch. Back-to-back plays. Inside slot fade, throw it over the outside shoulder of the defensive back, and watch this body control from number 1, Lofton Ogroski. Knows this is going to be a tough shot when he comes down. Ball looks like maybe moving around a little bit. But that body control to come down with the football. Great throw and catch, and the first big play momentum we've seen so far tonight for the Jackrabbits on offense.
Eli Stater on to try the extra point. It is good, and it's now a 21-7 game. Welcome to the Marker, South Dakota State.
If you go back a week ago in the win against Murray State, this is sort of similar. It wasn't quite this bad. They obviously weren't down 3 touchdowns to Murray State, but it was a slow start. Once Chase Mason went down and Luke Marble was in, it felt like there was 1 foot forward, 2 steps back. In this game, it took a little bit of momentum, able to settle in. I think the sacks on the other side for the Jackrabbits defense and getting some good field position have been critical. Starting to see this offense open up play calling a little bit, the shifts and motions. Getting Lofton Ogroski back has obviously been big for this offense.
Got that 14 yards and 4 punts gained on the first 4 drives. That one just 43 yards. Took less than 30 seconds and results in a touchdown, and the juice is back inside Dykhouse Stadium. This kick taken from the goal line. That's Jackson Williams. Williams trying to answer with a burst. He gets out to the 30-yard line. Jackson Williams averaging 24 yards per kickoff return this season.
Touchdown saving tackle from the receiver Jack Smith there as well.
Defense came off the field after that last 3 and out for South Dakota State, energized. Offense able to answer with a touchdown. See what the Jackrabbits are able to do with this North Dakota State offense that started out on fire tonight. Not much on first down. In fact, the loss of a yard. Aaron Holston on the tackle.
Good job from Wolfcale Holston on that left side of the defensive line. He wins at the point of attack on that stretch zone. That early penetration from Wolfcale Holston, able to come away with a tackle for loss. Defensive line, last 2 possessions, stepping up right now for this Jackrabbits defense.
Rika Pinu in the backfield along with Peyton. Movement up front. Flags come in. Jackrabbit defensive line pointing.
Ball start. Offense. Number 75. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
That's Josh Maggin, right tackle from Shakopee, Minnesota. He transitioned from defensive line to offensive line a year ago. Second down and 17. Offense that could do nothing wrong early in this game. Right now going in the wrong direction, but here's Peyton getting some of it back. Kobe Claiborne on the tackle. Peyton takes it back across the original line of scrimmage. And will bring up 3rd and 8.
You can see he's reading Kobe Claiborne, who they moved out to defensive end for that play. Claiborne crashes down, full read for the quarterback. That's where Cole Payton is most dangerous. Remember, almost 7 yards a carry coming into this game when Cole Payton takes off with the football.
Bison 3 of 5 on 3rd down tonight. They've got 3rd and 8 here. Pressure comes. Peyton gets rid of it, and he's able to find Bryce Lance once again for a first down.
It was against Isaiah Johnson earlier. Now it's Jaden Oliver into the boundary at corner. And the Jackrabbits defense and in this secondary, they do not have an answer for Bryce Lance. Another 3rd and long. They go simple curl route into the boundary, and you see Jaden Oliver bailing out. Got all that respect for Bryce Lance on the outside. Simple pitch and catch for another 3rd down conversion.
5 catches, 103 yards now for Bryce Lance. More importantly for North Dakota State, a first down. Ball at the 42. Number 1 team in the country playing like it so far tonight. This time it's on the ground, and Pinu hit hard and then driven back by Kobe Bretz. Driven way back by Bretz, and the North Dakota State sideline wants a flag. They thought that was a little too much extra.
Colin McShane in at the end of that as well. The emotional leader of this defense. Right now you're seeing defense on the back end as we take a look. A little late shove. That's one in a rivalry game like this. You let them play. One that they'll try to keep an eye on, especially with a guy like Colin McShane that plays with so much emotion.
Brian Bergstrom says McShane plays on the edge, sometimes just over the edge, but you don't want to throttle him back. Cole Payton to the outside, a big run, a first down and more. Payton to the 20, the 10, touchdown Bison. $57 yards.
Incredible play, but Dan Jackson is almost to the numbers, screaming at the officials for the missed hold at about the 50-yard line. Right in front of the side judge, the entire defense was calling for it. They just showed it on the replay. You can hear all of the boos in the stadium. Unbelievable that that was not called.
And Jackson beside himself on the South Dakota State sideline, having to be pulled back.
The ruling on the field is a touchdown. The previous play is under further review.
So, I mean, it's not like they can go back and review for a hold, but they can go back and review to see if Peyton stepped out of bounds.
It'll be on the right side. You can see the jersey pulling back on the defender. We'll take a look and see if he steps out of bounds. From that angle, looked like he was in. It's DJ Scott on the edge on the questionable non-holding call. We get a great look at it here. He's got 5 right in the middle. Colin McShane around the collar. But from that angle, to me, Richard, in terms of looking at whether or not Cole Payton stayed in bounds, I think he did.
Yeah, it looked like he was able to tiptoe along the sideline. And what a turn of events in not getting that holding call around midfield. Instead, a 57-yard touchdown.
And you could see that side judge on that replay. His eyes were on whether Cole Payton was in bounds. That's the guy that was right next to the play on the whether or not that would have been a holding call on Colin McShane. We'll get the call here from our referee, David Herger.
After review, the ruling on the field is upheld. Touchdown.
Third rushing touchdown of the night for Cole Payton. That drive, 5 plays, 70 yards, 3 minutes and 10 seconds, and it's now 27-7. And what a night for Cole Payton. 10 of 10 through the air, 75 yards on the ground, and he's run for 3. Maybe some items being thrown onto the field from the student section. Extra point is good. It's now 28-7, 2:38 until halftime, and a flag comes in. We'll have to check the marker.
Offside, defense, number 1. By rule, that penalty is declined. The result is good.
There's the announcement there from David Hergert, our referee tonight. And Jackson in his first year as the head coach here. Back at his alma mater, played linebacker here 2003 to 2005. Told us it doesn't usually happen, but he was going to have chill bumps running out onto the field. The chill bumps are long gone. They've been replaced with rage, I think, on the sideline.
The missed call there, which should have been a holding, you can see he's beside himself. When that play was still going, he was out to the numbers trying to yell at the referee. Now for South Dakota State, it took them the entire first quarter and most of the second to settle into this game. Opportunity here before half. They need points here, because remember, North Dakota State gets the ball coming out of half.
Dan Jackson got the head coaching job here in January. When he arrived, he was faced with a mass exodus and immediately tried to recruit some of the players that were on the team to stay on the team. A number of them followed their former head coach, Jimmy Rogers, to Wazoo. Good return here and good field position here coming up for the Jackrabbits. They'll start from the 37-yard line looking for points before the half. Had a couple of guys, including Chase Mason and Quentin Christensen, who said they were staying, and then they became part of the recruiting effort for some of the other guys that had been on the team. And Jackson said the players that stayed deserve so much credit for this 7-0 start. James Basinger in the game as the tailback. Marble steps up, avoids the early pressure, trying to get to the outside, and he'll run out of bounds. Run out by Keenan Wilson. He had the pressure, Wilson with the pressure to flush Marble out of the pocket.
And a good job on the back end in coverage after Luke Marble's able to break contain. Jalen Crumby, Jalen Duffy, not letting go of their receivers. A lot of times that's where you see those chunk plays come from when quarterbacks break contain with good coverage on the back end.
Movement, and a flag comes in.
This is the 2-minute timeout.
There we go. No flag, just the timeout. 2 minutes left in this opening half. 28-7, North Dakota State with a commanding lead. The most highly anticipated football game in the FCS this year, a little lopsided right now. South Dakota State desperately trying to tighten things up before halftime with 2 minutes to play. Luke Marble stands in and throws and completes that to Jack Smith. Smith out to the 45-yard line. Donovan Woolen on the tackle after a gain of 8.
Job by Luke Marble working through his progression, finds Jack Smith open in the flat. Big third down here in this 2-minute drive.
Marble again looking to throw. Able to break contain. Going to try to run for it himself. Turns it upfield. He steps out of bounds at the 49-yard line. That is enough for a first down.
Credit to Luke Marble. Again, working through his progression. It's not there. Able to make that second level defender miss. The linebacker to pick up the first down. This is a spot on the field. Eric Eidnes, offensive coordinator, talked about liking shot plays here. Top target, number 84 in the slot, Alex Bullock.
Marble pressured to his right. They need to throw it away, and he throws it in the direction of one of his guys. It was over close to Alex Bullock. You had Larson and Wilson applying the pressure for the Bison.
You've got just rushing forward here for North Dakota State, and watch the pressure. Everything right here. I mean, these are one-on-one wins at North Dakota State right now. Just 4 defenders rushing, and you've got 2 loose almost as soon as Luke Marble catches the ball. No opportunity to work through his reads right now. Defensive line for the Bison making it difficult on the redshirt freshman quarterback.
Play clock down to 5. Bison show pressure, then back out of it. Marble with time, dumps it off, incomplete. Kind of short-armed that one, trying to get it out to Basinger, his running back.
Now at 3rd and long. I think you're trying to, if you're Eric Eidnes, you're calling this for 2 plays. To me, if you can get this to a 4th and 2, 4th and 3 situation, already down 3 touchdowns in North Dakota State, getting the ball coming out of half. South Dakota State really needs points here of some sort, field goal or touchdown going into half.
1 of 5 on 3rd down. North Dakota State brings pressure. Marble flushed, and that ball, it's thrown incomplete. And the officials will talk about it. I think you may get a grounding there. Yeah, flag came out. So that's going to be an intentional grounding. And again, as soon as Marble gets the snap, he's retreating.
Well, that time it was a blitz. They brought down safety and boundary linebacker. It hasn't mattered. If it's just been rushing 4 defensive linemen or bringing pressure, Logan Kopp also looked like Jalen Crumby from the safety spot.
Intentional grounding, offense number 9. Ball was placed in the spot of the foul, lost it down, 4th down. North Dakota State has declined the 10-second runoff. The clock will start on the snap.
And they'll decline that runoff because they still have 3 timeouts. Opportunity here for North Dakota State. You feel like you steal a possession almost. You can go down, try to get points here before half, and then again get the ball coming out of the tunnel in the second half.
It brings in that opportunity that you're talking about there for a 2-for-1. End over end punt, returnable from the 15. Jackson Williams trying to get to the outside, and he's corralled at the 25, maybe the 26-yard line. So a long way to go, 60 seconds and 3 timeouts remaining. 49-yard punt, 11 on the return.
Go back and revisit this Jackrabbits defense, second in the FCS in takeaways. 18 turnovers that they've created so far this season. If there was ever a time, if you're a South Dakota State fan, that you're looking for a turnover, it's right here.
First and 10 at the 26 for NDSU.
Cole Payton 10 of 10 for 156 yards in the first half, and maybe the Bison just content to run it, although they take a timeout.
Timeout, North Dakota State. Their first charge timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
Sometimes a play call tells you what a coach is thinking, and that's not necessarily the case here for Tim Polasek.
Curious there that they did just keep the ball on the ground. Thought with the full complement of timeouts, all three, that we'd see Cole Payton put the ball in the air, but man, can't say enough good things about Cole Payton, their captain, and how he's performed in this game. Still perfect through the air. Done a nice job running the football as well for a guy that we talked about. He got his shot this season, a senior. He was behind Cam Miller for so long, really making the most of his effort tonight as a starter in this Dakota Marker game.
No gain on that first down play, so 2nd and 10. Payton, the left-hander, with time, and he dumps it out of the backfield to Pinu, and Pinu goes out of bounds at the 32. That'll stop the clock. Run out by Noah St. Just.
Now an opportunity here. South Dakota State still with 2 timeouts. Talking about this cat and mouse game of how you balance your timeouts, what to do with the clock. See what North Dakota State dials up here. The guy into the boundary that's been the problem for South Dakota State, Bryce Lance, in a one-on-one matchup with Isaiah Johnson at the bottom.
3rd down and 5, 48 seconds until the half. Payton flushed, being chased. That's Wolfcale Holston going after him, and he throws complete. Jackson Williams on the catch. Looked like the play was dead. Instead, it's a gain of 16 and a first down.
What an effort again from Cole Payton. Buys time, delivers a strike. And you're asking your defensive backs to cover for so long on the back end. Credit to Jackson Williams, exactly what you're taught on scramble drill. If you're the deep receiver, you work shallow. And did exactly that for another Bison 3rd down conversion.
177 through the air, a perfect 12 of 12 for Payton. This one is incomplete. First incompletion of the night, bounced and hit the turf.
Looked like they're targeting Zach Van Meeteren. And
Well,
that was close.
Really close to a catch.
And Meeteren saying, I caught that. Immediately comes over to Tim Polasek and says, let's take a look at that thing.
Did not get the review, so 2nd and 10.
Timeout, North Dakota State. Their 2nd charge timeout. 30 seconds.
Almost like Tim Polasek wanted the guys in the booth to take a little longer, perhaps, to look at that one. Polasek in his 2nd year as the head coach.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete catch. North Dakota State has challenged the ruling on the field. The previous play is under further review.
So we'll take a look at this, a little closer look at this.
John Gores. Another good look at it here. Remember, called an incompletion on the field. Is there enough here to overturn this? And to me, I do think that ball hits the turf. He's got his hands around it. This is a great look at it here.
Ball goes through the hands and hits the turf.
I think this will stay as an incompletion.
But ball can make contact with the ground, but you've got to catch it first.
Yeah, but I think there's enough there to be able to say you see a little bit of a bounce off the turf.
Okay.
I also think, to me, because it was called an incompletion on the field, I'm not sure there's enough there to overturn it.
Ruling on the field was an incomplete pass. Indisputable video evidence, what you're looking for to overturn the call on the field. And I'm like you, I don't know that you've got that.
After review, the ruling of an incomplete catch is upheld. No, incomplete catch or incomplete pass is upheld. Second down. North Dakota State loses their challenge.
They've got one timeout remaining. Certainly worth a shot there for North Dakota State to try and get that overturned call. So 2nd and 10 from the 47. And again, that's the first incompletion of the ball game for Cole Payton. Ten-time national champion North Dakota State. This one just a dump pass out to Pinu, and he goes out of bounds on the far sideline at midfield.
Eli Ozick, their kicker, target line is about the 39-yard line. But remember, this is the direction you're going into the wind here. It's probably more like the 35-yard line that they need to get to for Ozick.
His long this year is 54. That came against Indiana State. It was last week. 3rd and 7. Payton stands in and he throws complete. That's down to the 31-yard line. Reese Kessel on the catch, his 11th reception of the season, a gain of 19, and they spike it to stop the clock with 16 to go.
Such a good throw to the redshirt freshman. Right over the middle of the field, holds that safety with his eyes and puts it back behind Kessel. Knows that there's a defender on the other side. If you put it out ahead of him, you may get him hit. That ball placement is perfect from Cole Payton and a good catch from Reese Kessel.
Kessel, a big target, 6'5", 239. So after spiking the ball, 2nd down and 10 here from the 30. Payton steps up, and he's got room to run again. He'll go out of bounds at the 25, maybe the 24-yard line.
This has been surgical from Cole Payton in this offense. Not there, exactly what you're taught from a quarterback in a 2-minute drill. Be decisive. Either get rid of the football or get vertical, pick up what you can. Now another opportunity here with 9 seconds. I don't think you test the end zone here. You're just trying to improve your field position for this field goal attempt.
You've got time to take a shot if you want to do that, right?
It'll depend on the look.
With a timeout remaining.
It'll depend on the look, but this is the guy at the bottom. Bryce Lance, would not be surprised if they target him here.
One-on-one at the bottom of your screen. Payton looked that way, and now he goes to the opposite side. Intended for Raja Nelson. Noah St. Just in coverage, and the field goal team will come on to try and put points on the board before halftime.
St. Just a little bit early. You can see Raja Nelson asking for a call, but I like the no call there. Good defense from St. Just.
43-yard field goal attempt for Eli Ozick. 8 of 10 on the year. Ozick slips it inside the left upright. That ball had the slightest bit of cut on it, and he was able to slip it inside that upright, and that makes it 31-7.
It is that kind of night for North Dakota State. I thought this was left the entire way. Peels back in to the right, and their head coach Tim Polasek loves it. 31-7 going into half. It has been a dominating first half from the Bison.
Watching from that end zone view as he kicked it, the ball disappeared behind the upright as it was getting closer and closer, and it just worked its way back inside. 10 plays, 49 yards, 58 seconds, and 3 points. All right, so how about this? The last 2 games against San Diego State, first time since the 10 and 11 seasons where the Bison are able to put 28 or more on the board. They do it in the first half tonight. Won that semifinal game 28-21 a year ago. And North Dakota State will get the ball to start the second half. Kicked on the ground, picked up. South Dakota State looking for a big return. Their last chance in the half. Jack Smith tackled at the 35, and that will take us to the locker room. What a first half for this Bison football team. Complete performance. Let's go downstairs and check in with Tori Petrie.
Thanks, Richard. Coach, just a stellar first half for your quarterback, Cole Payton. What do you like about what he's putting together?
Yeah, a lot of grit and some really good playmaking, though, on the outside. Bryce Lance made some plays. I do like how he's keeping us on the field with toughness. You know, he really wants to win this ball game and play well.
This team has a 33-game win streak in this building. What do you need to do in the second half to stop that?
Yeah, we're not concerned about that. We're concerned about going 1-0. That's our mantra.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
They are on their way to going 1-0 tonight. A 31-7 halftime lead. It's the Dakota Marker. And right now, the Bison trying to take it back to Fargo. Welcome back to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Dr. Pepper. Number 1, North Dakota State. Number 2, South Dakota State. 31-7 our halftime score. You look at the numbers, and dominant for the Bison in the first half.
South Dakota State came into this game leading FCS football in time of possession. Look at that at the bottom. North Dakota State, 22 minutes, complete domination, all 3 phases, special teams included as well. It's a tough hill to climb in this second half for the Jackrabbits to get back in this game.
Let's check in downstairs with Tori Petrie.
Guys, I talked to Coach Jackson at the half, and he said his message to his team was that they had multiple opportunities to take the momentum back in the first half, but they've got to do it here in the second half. Regarding that emotional outburst after the no call on Peyton's touchdown run, he said, we overcome adversity all of the time. As far as his quarterback goes, he says Luke Marble was settling in towards the end of the half, but they've got to get Jack Henry involved in the quarterback run game as well.
Thanks, Tori. Certainly some adversity to overcome in the second half. Largest deficit for South Dakota State since trailing 24-0 in a playoff game against Montana State, or against Montana back in 2015. For the record, they held Montana scoreless in that second half, ended up losing 24-17. Shorter kick here. Going to be taken at the 15-yard line by Jackson Williams. Trying to get to the side of the field where he's got some blocking. A good return out to the 33, maybe the 34-yard line. That's where this North Dakota State offense will go to work. There is a flag down way back on the other end of the field around the 35.
He's brought down at the 33-yard line. That's a gain of 18 on the return.
Offside. Kicking team, number 9. That 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. First down, North Dakota State.
So the field position will get a little better for the Bison on this first possession of the second half. They will start from their own 38-yard line. Cole Payton comes out with Barika Pinu in the backfield. Richard Cross, Taylor McHarg, Tori Petrie with you from Brookings, South Dakota. Good pursuit there. That's going to be a loss on first down. Raja Nelson with the reception, but he's run out of bounds back at the 36-yard line. Lost him a couple.
Almost a perfect first half for Cole Payton. Just about everything well, throwing the football to the outside. I thought his connections with Bryce Lance got him in a rhythm early and then ran the football extremely well. Something we expected coming into this game, but he's done a nice job of.
Payton 15 of 17 in this game for 200 yards. Does not have a touchdown through the air, but he's got 3 rushing touchdowns. Not much on the second down play. Joe Ullman with the tackle. Ullman, a guy that had to kind of wait his time. There are a lot of good linebackers that have come through this Jackrabbits program. He is a captain on this team. And his head coach says he is a calming presence on the defensive side.
Plays with great instincts. Big opportunity. This has been an area that North Dakota State's done a fantastic job. These 3rd and longs, they converted on a number of these in the first half.
Third and 12. With time, and that is complete right at the first down marker. Jackson Williams, they're actually going to mark him a yard short. And so a decision to make here for Tim Polasek. Do you punt it away with the big lead or keep the offense on the field?
South Dakota State, interesting decision there to drop 8. They only bring 3. No real pressure around Cole Payton. Able to step into a throw. Not surprised here at all. The way that they've run the football, you would imagine North Dakota State's able to lean with this offensive line and pick up a yard.
Second time they've gone for it on 4th down tonight. They converted the first. Payton will keep it himself, trying to get to the outside. He's able to get the corner, cross the midfield stripe, and pick up the first down. He is a weapon with his legs.
And like the play design, keep it in the hands of Cole Payton. You see the patience there, that first step. He's reading whether or not is there an opportunity in the trenches in that A or B gap where he can just lean forward or bounce it to the outside like he did there, gets to the corner and picks up the first down.
DJ Scott into the game at running back. But Bretts had to get off that block and he just couldn't quite get there to drag Payton down. Short gain for DJ Scott. Kobe Claiborne with another tackle.
And that's been what's most interesting to me, Richard, is 1st and 2nd down. South Dakota State's playing well. They're getting 3rd and medium, 3rd and long situations regularly against this North Dakota State offense. They're just not getting off the field on 3rd down.
Bison 6 of 10 on 3rd down, 2 of 2 on 4th down. Call it no gain, so 2nd and 10, just across midfield. Payton trying to get to the outside, flips it down the field, and that is incomplete. And we'll bring up another 3rd down.
Good job in pursuit there, inside out from Joe Ullman. It's difficult. Remember, left-handed quarterback Cole Payton, he's rolling to his right. Anytime you get that pressure from inside out, it's hard to be accurate. Now, same spot that South Dakota State has been in a number of times on defense. Another 3rd down. They dropped 8 and only rushed 3 on the last one. We'll see if they bring pressure here with their linebackers.
Showing pressure from the outside. Payton stands in, trying to escape. He gets to the outside, now throws it down the field. That's another 3rd down conversion. Raja Nelson coming back to the ball, makes the catch.
And this is unbelievable again from Cole Payton. Able to break, contain, thought maybe there's a sack there, working to his right side and finds the open receiver, Raja Nelson. If you're a South Dakota State fan, you're pulling your hair out because every time you feel like you've got Cole Payton contained and you're going to get your defense off the field, they deliver a strike to pick up a 3rd down conversion.
It was Logan Green who flushed Payton outside the pocket. Now under center, a handoff. And again, a short gain on 1st down. Joe Ullman with another tackle.
And that was the element when we talked to defensive coordinator Brian Bergstrom. He said there's a number of ways that you can try to move Cole Payton, off of his platform, but getting him outside the pocket is just the first step. You have to get him to the ground or force an incompletion. Some of the biggest gains so far tonight for the Bison have been when Payton has escaped, moved outside the pocket, and found a receiver downfield.
Payton with time, he throws down the field, and it's intercepted. Taken away by Miles Taylor, his 2nd INT of the year. A big play for South Dakota State.
19th total takeaway of the season. They're trying to get this to Bryce Lance. Ball's just overthrown a little bit, and how about that play on the back end from Miles Taylor? The ball actually came up in the air, and Kobe Bretts is who comes down with this. I don't think this ball ever touches the turf.
Media.
So it's Bretts that gets credit for the interception. A big play for the defense. South Dakota State's turn when we come back. After an interception, the good news for South Dakota State, they kept the Bison out of the infield. They come up with a turnover. The bad news, they got to go 99.5 yards to get to the end zone. Offridge the back in the game with Luke Marble. Give us to Loffridge. And Loffridge churning his legs, gets out to the 9. Let's check in with Tori Petrie.
Well, guys, when I talked to Coach Jackson at the half, he talked about all those points in the first half where they felt like momentum started to swing their way, and then they lost it. But that interception right there is the kind of play that he was looking for them to open with in this second half. He came over to this group of defensive backs, congratulated them on the play, certainly want to sustain it with a good offensive drive here.
See 9 interceptions in the last 3 games for this Jackrabbits defense. Back to the ground, Loffridge falling forward. Donovan Woolen and Logan Kopp combining on the tackle for the Bison. Going to bring up 3rd down and less than a yard.
Tori talked to us coming out of half about how this staff said you need to get Jack Henry involved in the quarterback run game. Surprised that we have not seen that a little more in this game. That's an element that they had a little more of with Chase Mason. With him out, Luke Marble, so they wanted to take some shots off of him.
So few options, though, with just 21 total plays in the first half. Loffridge again. He's got enough for the first down and pushes the pile. Those big offensive linemen involved. They take it out across the 15 to the 17-yard line, and a first down after the gain of 7.
Good effort in the interior. Good job by this offensive line, leaning, making sure they pick up that first down. And now we do see Jack Henry, the redshirt freshman from Del Rapids, South Dakota, check back into the game at quarterback.
Hard to miss with those bright colored shoes.
Please set the play clock to 40 seconds.
Jack Henry made an impression on his teammates a year ago. Did not play in a game, but he was the scout team quarterback in 3 different times. He was named the offensive scout team player of the week. Henry hands it off and bouncing it to the outside. Josiah Johnson, that's another freshman. He's out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. An inner city Milwaukee kid, not heavily recruited. A little raw, but they really like the upside for Josiah Johnson,
who's having to step up again with Brendan Begeman out at running back. How about number 6, Jalen Crumby? His pursuit flashes on tape any game that you watch for the Bison. Good example of it right there in a good open field tackle.
So Jack Henry stays in the game at quarterback, and he's got the freshman Josiah Johnson off to his left. And Henry's going to take off himself. And again, that offensive line kind of exerting their will a little bit on this drive. A couple of times we've seen kind of move the pile in a scrum.
Able to pick up another yard or 2 after first contact. Clear quarterback draw, get the tight end in the action as well as a lead blocker. And how about that effort? Second time on this drive. Offensive line helping pull and push the ball carrier forward for a first down.
Jack Henry's kind of from a baseball family. He was a baseball player, picked up football a little bit later. Switched over to quarterback. Says he still needs to work on his footwork, but he can really run it. Coaching staff said raw but very talented, talking about Jack Henry. His brother Austin, college baseball player at Missouri, started out in Oklahoma, year at Wichita State. Henry comes out of the game. Luke Marble back in.
I always liked that as a quarterback when we had a Wildcat package. It was always difficult if you're the starter and you're put back in on a 3rd and long situation. See what they have here on 2nd and long for Luke Marble.
Goes to the air. That's complete to Bullock to the outside, and Bullock out to the 38, 39-yard line. That's another first down for South Dakota State.
And all set up by the block from Jack Smith on the outside. Great job from the redshirt freshman from Sioux Falls. That play does not happen without a good block on the perimeter.
Marble, middle of the field, incomplete. That one got away from him a little bit.
I think a miscommunication with Graham Goring, who he thought was going to be in the seam. I think he expected Goring to have his eyes back on the quarterback. No one there. And like you said, Richard, I think Marble just fortunate that that fell incomplete.
Nathaniel Staling got his hands on it, had a chance for an interception there. 33-game home winning streak for the Jackrabbits here at Dana J. Dykhouse Stadium. Capacity crowd of over 19,000 tonight. On the ground, kind of a roll forward for Josiah Johnson. Jalen Duffy with the stop. Fourth longest winning streak in FCS history. Georgia Southern, how about that? In 2 different occasions, 39 and 38 game home winning streaks. Eastern Kentucky back in the late 70s or early 80s ripped off 34 in a row. It's this current Jackrabbits team, couple of national championships in 2022 and 23. Trying to keep this drive alive. 3rd and 9. Marble pressure, and he's dropped for a big loss. Nathaniel Staling was the first one there. Nearly had the interception a couple of plays ago. This time he comes up with a big sack.
And it's off the left side, and this is one where your young quarterback has to know where his relief valve is. They show the pressure the entire way. He's got to know, Nathaniel Staling, I'm hot off of the linebacker. He's going to be unblocked, and if he does end up blitzing, I've got to get rid of the ball immediately.
A loss of 13 forces the punt. Williams go for the fair catch and then paid for it that time. A good field position for North Dakota State when we come back. 31-7, Bison in front of the Jacks.
Media, timeout.
Kickoff week 8 of the NFL with the Countdown crew. They'll have all the breaking stories, injury updates, and previews of each game right up to kickoff. Sunday NFL Countdown tomorrow at 10 Eastern on ESPN and the all-new ESPN app. And then on Monday night, it's Commanders and Chiefs. Monday Night Football, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC, ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the ESPN app, plus the Manning Cast on ESPN2. Coverage kicks off with Monday Night Countdown live from Arrowhead. If you wrote the Chiefs off, you might have done that a little prematurely. 4-1 over their last 5. And the numbers for Patrick Mahomes, well, they're Patrick Mahomes-like over the last 5 games. Bison turned it over on their first possession of this second half, an interception by Kobe Brents. DJ Scott into the game, and he'll carry it across out to the 42, across the 40 out to the 42. Gain of 4 on first down. Defense got a turnover. It feels like South Dakota State needs maybe even points from this defense.
Asking so much from this unit that, you said it, Richard, you create a takeaway, credit to this defense, but it almost served as a punt, right? They end up with the ball inside the 1-yard line.
2nd and 6, Peyton checking at the line. Wants to throw, pressure up the middle. He escapes the first man, able to stay on his feet, and Cole Peyton ends up losing a couple of yards, but his pocket presence and his ability to get away so good. Ullman and Claiborne with the pressure.
Joe Ullman does not miss many tackles like that, and Claiborne, those are 2 of the top playmakers for this Jackrabbits defense, and they can't bring down Cole Peyton. Instead of it being a sack and a loss of 5 or 6, ends up getting back almost to where the line of scrimmage was.
North Dakota State has been good on 3rd down tonight, 7 of 11, especially in 3rd and long. Peyton, pocket collapsing around him. He stands in and delivers a strike to midfield, plus a couple more. Reed Kessel with his second catch of the game.
Story of the game, the Jackrabbits defense cannot get off the field on third down. Good protection up front, zone coverage, soft spot in the zone, and delivers a strike. Reese Kessel has been a revelation for that tight end room as well. When Carson Williams was out, the redshirt freshman from Fargo stepped up in a big way. Been one of the top targets for Cole Payton the last few weeks.
South High School for Reese Kessel. Bison needed 7, they got 17. Not much there for DJ Scott on first down. Ripperdahl with the tackle, transfer in from Northern Illinois.
Another one of the emotional leaders for this bunch. Ripperdahl off of that defensive end position. Biggest play of the season for him. That Youngstown State strip sack. They were down 14-0 in that game, came back to get a win. This team has faced adversity, but it is getting late early here at home.
2 minutes left in the third quarter. A 24-point lead for North Dakota State. On 2nd and 9, Payton will keep it. He's hit hard on that play. McShane cleaned it up. The first man there was Joe Olben. The linebackers tag teaming there.
Now an opportunity. How many times have we said this tonight, Richard?
Chance to get off the field.
On 3rd and 8, another third down and long. We've seen South Dakota State bring pressure. We've seen them drop 8. A couple different looks. Do they have anything dialed up where they can get home on Cole Payton and affect him?
8 of 12 on 3rd down. Trips at the top of your screen. That's Lance that was moving. Payton stands in, and this one incomplete. Kessel couldn't haul it in, had it in the breadbasket.
Aiden Dauterman, good coverage from the 3rd string corner. Coming right at you, fighting back through. That's a mismatch because he's up against Reese Kessel, who's at 6'5", 240, having to play through the back of the tight end. Good coverage from Dauterman.
Miles Taylor is the return man for South Dakota State. He stands at the 8-yard line. Aaron Bickerton, end over end punt, fair catch called for and made at the 12. 59 seconds left in the third quarter. Jackrabbits, long way to go, and it's getting late. Here's your Fansville College football update brought to you by Dr. Pepper. Georgia Tech with a big win today over Syracuse. Haynes King, what a season he's had, what a career he's had. Today, 3 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns. First Georgia Tech quarterback or player to ever do that.
One of the toughest quarterbacks in all of college football. Georgia Tech, look at the last month of their schedule. That's a team that I think we're going to see in the playoff. I know that's not a surprise at this point, but for anybody that hasn't been paying attention to Georgia Tech, they have a clear path to not only getting to the ACC championship, but being in the 12-team playoff.
Lawfridge on the carry. The running game has been better for South Dakota State here in the second half. They had 0 yards rushing in the first 30 minutes of this game.
And the 3 straight 3-and-outs to start this game were matched on the other side by 3 straight scores from the Bison. And from that point on, South Dakota State has been in a hole for what has seemed like this entire game.
North Dakota State trying to make it 3 in a row against the Jackrabbits and trying to snap a 33-game home winning streak. Out across the 25, that's good for a first down. See if South Dakota State tries to get off one more play before the end of the quarter. Still in the huddle, probably not going to have time to do that as the clock ticks down. 15 minutes remaining in the Dakota Marker game. Will that Dakota Marker be headed back to Fargo? Looking that way unless the Jackrabbits can find a miracle.
Welcome back to ESPN College Football Primetime presented by Dr. Pepper. Coach, we talked at the half about momentum and needing to get it back on your side. What do you need to do to be able to close this one out with a win?
I think the defense is doing a good job. We've got a bunch of stops and interception right there. The offense is starting to get it going a little bit, so we got to finish a score opportunity here, get the 2-point conversion, and just get it rolling, one play at a time.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tori. On the field with Dan Jackson, the head coach at South Dakota State. Jackrabbits trailing 31-7. Playing tonight without their starting quarterback, Chase Mason. Luke Marble filling that role in the absence of Mason. They expect to get him back very much week to week, even day to day right now, after a foot injury in the game against Murray State last week. Marble steps in, throws down the sideline, and a flag comes in. Pass interference intended for Alex Bullock. While we've got a chance, want to mention this. This was a tough week for a lot of folks in the Brookings, South Dakota community.
Defense, number 24, 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic, first down.
Jeremy Deutsch is the co-owner at Cubbies, which is a college bar in this campus area. Former South Dakota State baseball player. Had a pretty significant health diagnosis. Watching tonight from Rochester, Minnesota. They put together a GoFundMe for him, and this community has rallied to raise about $90,000 for him and for his family in just the last couple of days. We want to wish our best to Jeremy and the medical team that is working with him. Talked to some folks in the community. They said Jeremy Deutsch, he is a fighter and going to try to fight through this as well. And so a lot of folks in Brookings thinking about Jeremy Deutsch. That defense comes up with another play for North Dakota State.
Defensive line stepping up again. It's been that way all night, even when the Bison have decided not to blitz at front. Which, remember, they're without their emotional leader up front, Jackson Dudenheffer. They call duty. Said he will travel. He's on the sidelines here tonight. They've done a nice job without him, though.
Big run after the catch. Got the sack yardage back and then some. And so a third down and manageable after, what, 2nd and 20.
It'll be a holding bringing this back.
Holding. Offense. Number 54. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat, 2nd down.
They get the redshirt freshman Shane Willenbring, the center, who's out in space on that screen. It's been that kind of night for the Jackrabbits. Feels like any type of momentum that they start to build, either a negative play, a sack, something that goes in the opposite direction.
So instead of 3rd and 4, it's now 2nd and 21. Basinger in the game in the backfield with Luke Marble. Basinger with a burst. And he gets a bunch of the yardage back. We'll bring it 3rd and 7 as they'll spot that ball at the 43-yard line. Darius Givens on the tackle after a gain of 14.
One of the 2 young running backs that they are very excited about, Basinger and Josiah Johnson. We've also seen Corey Blair some this season. That crop of running backs that playmakers, as the season progresses, they're going to continue to lean on. Julius Loffridge, still the bell cow, but nice to have options in the running back room.
3rd and 7 here. On the ground, straight ahead this time for Luke Marble. Bring up a 4th down, and certainly you would expect the offense to stay on the field. Logan Kopp with the tackle. That was actually Jack Henry, I beg your pardon, on the run that time.
See if they keep Jack Henry in the game. At a 4th and 3, we have not seen him put the ball in the air. Is there any sort of wrinkle? Play action, obviously, in there. You see Luke Marble check back in place of Jack Henry. I think if it was 4th and 1 or 2, wouldn't have been surprised to see them keep the ball in the hands of Jack Henry.
Instead, it's 4th and 3. Play clock down to 5. Marble Steps up, trying to make something happen. Able to avoid the sack, trying to avoid going out of bounds. He throws incomplete. Looking for his tight end, Gusted, right there on the sideline, and the Jackrabbits turn it over on downs.
Just nowhere to go with the football. Great team defense again from the Bison. It's only a two-man route.
Media, timeout.
Timeout on the field. We'll take it as well. 31-7, North Dakota State trying to get to 8-0 on the year. Tomorrow morning, it's the first Clásico of the La Liga season on ESPN2 and the all-new ESPN app as Real Madrid hosts Barcelona. Coverage begins at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 o'clock on the West Coast with kickoff at 11:15. That'll be available on the plane flying home tomorrow. 31-7, North Dakota State with the lead and the ball on the plus side of the field. 398 total yards of offense tonight, and there he goes again. Cole Payton to the house. 4th rushing touchdown for the Bison quarterback, this time from 47 yards out.
Haven't been able to stop him all night running the football. Credit to the offensive line on the left side. Hat on a hat. Look at that hole on the left side, untouched all the way to the end zone, and what a night for Cole Payton.
A career-high 131 rushing yards for the 5th-year senior from Omaha, Nebraska. This record-setting crowd tonight at Dykhouse Stadium is thinned out, and the folks in green and gold, a few thousand of them that made the trip down from Fargo, letting their voices be heard. So Taylor, a 47-yard touchdown run. What you got?
They get a seal right here, that block right here. When they clear that out, that is the only defender on the left side of the field. You pick up that boundary safety, there's nobody left. And it just speaks to, again, the sound blocking schemes and the physicality that the Bison have played with all night. It's fine to have schemes, that's one thing. But the Bison offensive line and receivers, running backs, anybody that's been involved in the ground game, they have been so good at being violent at the point of attack, blocking. And then you have a guy like Cole Payton that how many times have we seen tonight, first defender gets to him and they can't bring him down, or even second and third defender. Made it easy on that play. Good block on the edge, and it was all speed to the end zone from Payton.
Career-high 4 rushing touchdowns. Does not have a passing touchdown in this game. He's up to 10 rushing touchdowns on the year. North Dakota State on its way to an 8-0 start, coming off a national championship winning season. And that was after back-to-back national championships for South Dakota State. Jackrabbits had 5 straight wins in the series, including a victory over the Bison in the national championship game in 2023. Folks at North Dakota State told us that was a long 2.5 years. Not only to lose the marker, but to have their rival win the title. There you see Chase Mason, who is expected to make a full recovery and return after a foot injury last week against Murray State. He put on a brave face before the game tonight. When visiting with him, you could tell that he was disappointed not to have the opportunity to play in this game, certainly in his senior season. But he told me, he's like, hey, this isn't the only time we're going to see these guys this year.
Well, I don't think there's any question that if South Dakota State, after this game, can rally themselves, get off the mat, and make a run, which we all expect them to, I think you're exactly right. The way that this North Dakota State team is playing right now, I'm not sure there's any team in the country that's capable of beating them if they play the way that they did tonight.
Into the air, flag comes in, catch is made right around midfield by Graham Goring. That is his first reception of the game. Taylor Eady was in coverage. If it stands, it's a gain of 29.
Holding. Defense, number 24. That penalty is declined. The result of the play, first down.
And a look at the coverage, Anthony Jimmy Alfaro on the left side. See the hold there, but what a catch over top for the first catch of the night for Graham Goring.
Across midfield. Eady and Woolen combined on the tackle.
Doesn't it feel like also that this team kind of matches the identity of their head coach in Tim Polasek? I mean, on the phone, on the call with him on our Zoom meeting and today before the game, the intensity that he brings day in and day out, this team matches that kind of intensity.
Big energy. Marble off play action. Can't find a receiver downfield. Buys himself a little time and now reverses field. Being chased. Got a block. Now Marble going to get back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe. Close to it. Let's check in with Tori.
Well, guys, speaking to your point about this team taking on Polasek's identity, he allowed the team to vote last night on whether they wanted to go to a movie together as a team, and the captain said, no movie. We're here for all business.
That's what Richard did for us last night. We were supposed to go to a movie. He said, no, we're all business.
Yeah, we're going to dinner at Crawford's.
That's exactly right. Crawford's in Sioux Falls, man. What a place.
I feel like you and I should get a picture on the wall there. Become our go-to. Swing pass. Open field for James Basinger. Big play there for the Jackrabbits.
Officials timeout for an injured defensive player.
Good play for the young running back, finding a little bit of space. It's like we've got a defender down.
Austin Altepeter is the injured player for North Dakota State. So an injury timeout on the field. The next stop on the F1 schedule is the Mexico City Grand Prix. It's tomorrow afternoon, 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific on ABC and the all-new ESPN app. Pre-race coverage begins at 2:30 Eastern. ESPN Deportes coverage starts at 3. F1 Grand Prix in your city just a couple of weeks ago.
That's right, in Austin, Texas. What a great event. Don't get to see it very often. Typically out
a little hard during football
hanging
season.
out with you. But, man, what a great event. Love that event in Austin.
So Altepeter timeout. Still down on the field. The junior from Fargo, North Dakota, played at Moorhead High School. We'll take a break while he's down on the field with 9:24 to play.
ESPN College Football is presented by Ice Cold Dr. Pepper. College football, it's a pepper thing.
Part of the championship celebration for South Dakota State a couple of years ago. There's been a lot of celebrating between these two teams over the last decade and a half. 10 national championships for the Bison. Jackrabbits won back-to-back titles, including over North Dakota State in 2022.
You and I were here for the second round win over Mercer 2023. Man, those Mark Gronowski teams, goodness gracious, those are some good football teams.
Marble has come out of the game. Here's Jack Henry on a 1st and 10. Henry going to throw for the first time tonight, and it's incomplete. Nearly intercepted. Jackrabbits Alexander would like another shot at that one.
Has his receiver, Alex Bullock. This ball's just got to be thrown on the back shoulder, leading him up the field. If you're going to throw it to 84 there, got to recognize where that safety is, a corner rather, and Jackrabbits Alexander. these young quarterbacks, I mean, it's been Luke Marble for most of this game, but for Jack Henry as well, these are critical reps until they can get Chase Mason back and try and make these plays happen.
Tonight, the debut for Jack Henry. He heads to the left side here. Picks up a couple down to the 30. Woolen, another tackle. Looking at the numbers in this game, one of the things that kind of stands out, 40 rushing yards tonight for South Dakota State, but sack yardage counts against your rushing total, obviously in college football. 46 yards in sack yardage factored into that number.
And another number, Dana J. Dykhouse Stadium attendance record, 19,477. Disappointed fans in that number, but new record here.
Josiah Johnson in the game on 3rd and 9. They give it to Johnson and he bounces it wide. Looked like there was a big hole up the middle, but went out where the blockers were. Kelton McCaslin on the tackle. Fourth down coming here. 8:03 to play and running. Dan Jackson spent a lot of time as an assistant coach here at South Dakota State. Most recently was the defensive coordinator in Idaho. Spent a couple of years at Vanderbilt before that. Going back home, though. This down to the 35-yard line. That's short of the first down, caught by Grayton Gannon, but a turnover on downs, and that takes us to a timeout. 31-point lead for the Bison here in Brookings, South Dakota.
Timeout.
Time now for our AT&T Best Moments. Might should call it Best Moments, because that's what it has been tonight for Cole Payton, running the football. Career-high rushing yards and rushing touchdowns.
He told us his favorite plays were the design +1 quarterback run game, and my goodness, did it show up tonight. It's been a huge element of his game coming in to this rivalry game. 131 on the ground, 4 touchdowns, all career highs. I think that's something, especially later in the season, when you would imagine in the playoffs where this team, you would think, will get tested. That will be something they'll continue to lean on.
Raja Nelson was lined up in the backfield. Cole Payton stays in this game, and he's going to add to his rushing total. Let's go down and check in with Tori Petrie.
Well, guys, it cannot be overstated how much it means to Cole Payton to be able to play in this game. He told me he decided to go to North Dakota State before his senior year of high school. They won the state championship that year, and he was getting calls from bigger schools, but he didn't even take them. His heart was set on North Dakota State. He said he loves this place so much. Getting to be the starter here for 1 year means more to him than playing 2 or 3 years somewhere else.
And he got a little bit of a curtain call as he came off the field there. New quarterback in the game is Nathan Hayes, the junior from Chicago, West Chicago, Illinois.
How about that reception for Cole Payton coming off the field? I mean, you can hear the fans, a few thousand North Dakota State fans obviously cheering for him, but his teammates and his coaches, the guy, just remind everyone, I mean, when we talked to Dan Larson, the offensive coordinator, he got emotional on the call about how much Cole Payton means to him, and that he tells him he loves him before every game. Like Tori just mentioned, in a world that we live in now where a lot of guys transfer and move around, Cole Payton did not do that. He waited his turn.
In his 5th year at North Dakota State, Cole Payton didn't really know about Cam Miller when he committed, and you look at Cam Miller's career numbers and you go, well, you weren't exactly going to take him out. He threw for nearly 9,800 yards and 81 touchdowns. Ended up being a 6th-round pick of the Raiders. But it is absolutely Cole Payton time, and that waiting has paid off for him in a big way so far this season, and is paying off for North Dakota State. Pinu, as the clock continues to run, down close to 5.5 minutes remaining. So what does the regroup after this look like for South Dakota State?
Well, I think it's a team that had already proven a couple times this season that they were able to come back from some adversity. Montana State, Youngstown State, games where they were challenged. I think the biggest thing is when can they get their quarterback Chase Mason healthy? That's got to be number one. But there's obviously a lot more left for this program. The expectation here is to win the Missouri Valley Football Conference and win national championships. But this was definitely, I would say, a shock for this team to be able to be pushed around the way that they were in the trenches.
Look at the burst there from Nathan Hayes to the outside for a first down. That'll move the sticks. And then he's got a little something to say to the defender as well after the 10-yard run.
You got to imagine for Nathan Hayes coming into this game, probably didn't expect to get playing time. I think we all expected this to probably be a pretty tight game, but Nathan Hayes and a handful of the other young guys in the backup roles. Looks like Nate Schneckloth in there as well at the right guard position.
You just wanted to say that name, didn't you? Schneckloth?
Schneckloth. I don't think I said it right the first time. To the Schneckloth family, I apologize for the first effort.
To the outside into midfield. That is Owen Johnson, the senior from Mankato, Minnesota.
But that is the piece that I think I'm most impressed with for this team, is the offensive line play. Think back to the first 3 possessions of this game. They were able to get 6 yards a carry anytime they wanted. They avoided all those third down and longs for the entire first quarter and jumped out to that 21-0 lead. And I think that's what surprised me most. South Dakota State came into this game saying our defensive line was our strength, and North Dakota State said, we don't care about that. We're going to run it right at you for the entire first quarter.
Starting group of Bo Johnson, Nate Tostad, Trent Fraley, Griffin Impey, and Josh Magan. Ryan Babbitt's got a good bit of playing time tonight as well, moving into that left tackle spot and kind of moving Bo Johnson down to a guard. But I agree with you, an incredibly impressive performance by the Big Uglies.
And that's the piece when you have to travel and you're playing rivalry games or you're playing a top opponent at any level. I don't care if it's high school, college, NFL. If you've got an offensive line group that can be that violent and that sound in their blocking schemes, you can beat anybody. And this North Dakota State team, I'm not sure that there's a front out there in FCS football that's going to be able to stop these guys. If they play the way that they did tonight, I'm not sure that there's a loss on their schedule.
Said early in this ball game that North Dakota State largely this season was untested. Were they tested tonight?
If you looked at the score, you'd say, no, they weren't tested. But to come into a place like this, a capacity crowd, your rivalry game, and play the way that they did, they were tested early. They just answered the bell, and they played better.
Passed with flying colors.
Exactly. I mean, if you look down the schedule, they came into this game, their closest contest, you had to go all the way back, 17-point win at Illinois State. Looks like they're going to take this down to the 2-minute timeout. But they've been dominating all season and again here tonight.
31-point lead for North Dakota State as we go to the final 2 minutes of this ball game. The Dakota Marker. Next Saturday, it's the SEC on ABC, a rivalry game. Number 5, Georgia and Florida squaring off at 3:30 Eastern, also available on the all-new ESPN app. Rivalry series that goes back a long way. 104th meeting with Georgia leading the all-time series. Dogs have won 4 in a row against the Gators. Some of the big news in college football last weekend. To the outside, another big quarterback run, though this time it is Nathan Hayes. Got the lead blocking on the outside, and a flag comes in. Hayes perhaps a little too excited about that big run.
Well, this was the same quarterback stretch to the outside that the last touchdown for Cole Payton. A little bit of extracurriculars. Felt like this was maybe brewing for the last, I don't know, 3 quarters.
If this is indeed an unsportsmanlike, the fact that it is a 29-yard run as it stands right now, we'll check on the marker. long discussion here.
Yeah. Personal foul, face mask, offense, number 12. 15-yard penalty results in a first down.
It is rare that you see a face mask call on a quarterback in a run. He gave the stiff arm, grabbed the face mask, little twist at the end. Told him about it. That'll cost you 15.
They got the call right. It's just usually not
Absolutely.
called, but that was, there's no doubt about that one.
And it was out of bounds?
Yes.
David Hergert leaving his ref mic on a little longer there. You know, the ACC this year giving you the listen in with the replay booth as they are reviewing plays. I guess if you just left the ref mic on, that would be a different level of access as well. Looks as if North Dakota State is set to go into a victory formation and just run the clock out.
Correction, the foul was at the 16-yard line. The foul will be enforced from the spot of the foul. Still results in a first down.
All right, so the foul happened at the 16-yard line.
Which I always love when they have to go back to the spot and then step it off.
I think they're still off a yard if it was at the 16 because they marked it at the 32. I'm not a big math guy, but it feels like they might be a yard off there. We'll let it slide at this point. Nathan Hayes takes a knee. So looking ahead for North Dakota State. They go back home to the Fargo Dome next weekend with Youngstown State coming to town. They'll travel to take on North Dakota, Northern Iowa, and then St. Thomas out of Minnesota to close out the regular season. It feels, obviously there's football to play, like they are staring a #1 overall seed in the FCS playoffs right in the face.
Yeah, the one that obviously jumps out at North Dakota, always a rivalry game there, tough place to play. But I said it earlier, again, the offensive and defensive lines, if they play the way that they did tonight, there's not a team in FCS football that's going to beat this North Dakota State team.
Some of the key dates that we'll watch coming up. The new top 10 will be released on November 5th. You get the FCS playoff selection show on the 23rd. First round of the FCS playoffs begin on November 29th. And then the championship will be crowned right after the new year, January 5th.
They are all at about the 20-yard line getting ready to go find the marker. And there they go.
And the marker is not a lightweight trophy. 75 pounds of red quartzite. A smaller version of the red quartzite markers that dot the state line, the dividing line between North and South Dakota every half mile. Some 300 plus of them stretching the width of this state and the border between the two states. The marker is headed back to Fargo as the final seconds tick off, and this the largest margin of victory in this game since the early 1990s, and it snaps a 33-game home winning streak, the fourth longest in FCS history for this South Dakota State team. They've got to regroup. Let's go downstairs and check in with Tori Petrie. Tori?
Thanks, Richard. Coach, for the second year in a row, the marker goes home to North Dakota State. What did it take to get it done today?
Well, an unbelievable week of preparation. You know, one thing about us is we practice and we value practicing. And then we came out here and played together. Great complimentary football early, some big plays. It was just really a fantastic ball game.
Well, fantastic effort from your quarterback. What did you think of the way he played today?
Well, when he gets loose in the perimeter, he's a problem. And when I saw him cut back, you just kind of figure now it's going to be a touchdown. He willed us a little bit today. I thought we could have played better up front, but we're going to celebrate this one like crazy.
As you should. And Coach, obviously this is just one game, but we talked about it being best versus best here in this conference. And you guys took home the win today. What does that say about who your team is this season?
Well, right now, you know, tonight we were the better team. I like this group because we keep coming back and practicing at a high level. All these wins the rest of the way are going to position you potentially for home field advantage throughout, and that's the only goal we have.
Well, Coach, I'm going to let you go here so I can talk to your quarterback because it was such a great night for him. So why don't we bring Cole in over here. High fives for his quarterback after such a great game. Cole, a huge night for you guys, being able to take home the marker. What does it mean to you to be able to win this one?
It means the world. I mean, that's a great football team, and we came out swinging. You know, that was something we needed to work on these last couple of weeks. We were coming out flat, and so to come out swinging, to convert on third downs, that was huge. And just shout out to, you know, the O-line grinding their butts off. You know, Bryce Lance and the wide receiver making plays, and that was just such a fun time.
What kind of confidence does it give your group going into the rest of this season and what may be ahead to be able to say that you won this one versus number 2?
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy to come in here. It's hostile, it's loud, like we were talking about before. And so, yeah, we're going to keep that chip on our shoulder because our best game is still out there. Our best game is still out there, and so we're going to continue to try to strive and reach our full potential.
You waited 4 years for this moment. Obviously, the season isn't done, but this is such a huge rivalry game that you guys look forward to playing in every single year, and you got your chance tonight to take home the win as the starter at North Dakota State. What does that mean to you?
It means the world. It's an honor, and just to make the most out of an opportunity like this, and I just love this team. I love these guys, and so excited, so excited.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Cole Payton had to wait his turn. It was a wait that was worthwhile. A monster game for him tonight. 4 rushing touchdowns, over 100 yards on the ground, 243 through the air. So long from South Dakota. Our final score tonight, 38-7. North Dakota State wins it over South Dakota State. Coming up next, it's the Magic City Classic as Alabama A&M takes on Alabama State. For Taylor McHarg, Tori Petrie, and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Richard Cross. Good night from Brookings.